Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Tony Finn, at WagerTalk on Twitter. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow. We're doing a Super Bowl props video this time around. We're going to talk to Tony, get his favorite props. Tony, I'm a weirdo. I like to bet the fun props, like what's a coin flip going to be? Listen, I know it's not anything that is going to be plus EV or any other reason other than it's just fun.
Right.
You know, you go to a Super Bowl party and you're going, okay, great, I bet heads minus 102 or 103, depending on your book, and it lands on heads, and you have a winner right out of the gate. It just gets you amped up for the rest of the game. But you're going to give out some more serious prop bets where you found some advantages here. The first one you're going to give out is really surprising to me. Quarterback sacks under 3.5. Now, as a person who's going to be on the Rams +3 when it gets there, I'm looking at this going, no, I need this Rams defense to get to Tom Brady, more importantly. But why do you like the under?
For several reasons. One, because Tom Brady's getting the ball out of his hand. Listen, they don't have the receiver set where guys are going to be 20 and 30 yards downfield where Tom's airing it out. This is get the ball out of my hand. Leave me comfortable.
Dink and dunk type passes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what it has. And they're going to run the football more. Last week, I think they went to overtime, but I think they had the ball 43 or 44 minutes of the game and 94 offensive plays. And that happened because they ran the ball 40 times, almost half the time, which obviously you're not going to get a sack on running the football. Tom Brady's the only quarterback so far in the playoffs who has not been sacked. These are two of the best offensive lines. They do a great job of protecting.
When he was almost sacked, there was this really phantom roughing the passer call.
Which we can talk about a little bit in this too.
Okay, great.
With the head official and Perry, yeah, absolutely. This is contemporary Belichick at his best, and that is he would prefer to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust and keep Goff and that receiver set off the field.
Okay, so flip side, Goff getting sacked is a concern of mine. I know this offensive line has played better for whatever reason since C.J. Anderson comes in. Maybe he's given them more time. Maybe he's a better blocker than Gurley. I don't know what is going on. But Jared Goff has seemed to play better this last few weeks with that offensive line. So do you don't think that the Patriots defense is going to be able to get to him either? 20
regular season sacks. I mean, that's not what the Patriots do. They put as much pressure as they can, as does the Rams with Donald and that bunch up the middle to try to get them off their X. Goff's much better off the X outside of the pocket than Brady. That's how you beat New England, and that is they're not concerned about sacks. It is, however, making him uncomfortable and putting somebody in his face, directly in front of his face.
Okay.
So I think under 3.5 sacks makes perfect sense.
Perfect. I like it. All right, next up, longest completion by Tom Brady under 36.5 yards.
Right, and to preface this and let the audience know, my propositions are more than a coin flip. It's over.
Right.
Most of the props I have are going to be statistically based. How I see the game playing out, and more so, just regardless what the score is in the game. Most of the time, these props are not decided until 7 or 8 minutes, and so you have something to be rooting for
the entire game.
If your team's getting murdered, you still have something to root for. So quickly, under 36.5 yards for Brady. Again, they don't have anybody. If you look at the props on total yards by some of the receivers, nothing over 20 yards. I think Gronk is 20 yards, his longest reception, and for the most part.
Yeah, he had that one in the Chiefs game where he was absent the entire game, and then boom, big pass.
This is again, they're running the football and getting the ball out of Brady's hands, which is going to require yak. It's going to require yards after the catch to be over 40 yards or 36.5, in my opinion.
All right, two that kind of go together. Total penalties, and now this is for both teams, over 35.5.
Right.
And then that coincides with the New England Patriots. Or I'm sorry, no, this is total penalties for the New England Patriots.
Correct.
Total yard penalties, 35.5. Total, sorry, what do you got right now?
4.5 for total penalties.
Yes.
Yards combined, 35.5 over in both.
My notes I didn't take very good.
And much of this has to do with if you believe that the NFL owns Sunday, and I think that the NFL owns Sunday. It's no longer, and we won't get religious, but that's who owns Sunday, and they're not going to have the lead official on this is Perry. And there'll be guys like Brian, I think Camp. There's 2 officials in this game. I think Brian and Camp and Hall, maybe 3. Their first Super Bowl. They're not. They've already discussed this, in my opinion, and there's going to be flags thrown. They'd rather have this decided if it's a play that is review eligible, they would prefer to have
the flag on the field.
They would prefer to avoid what happened in the Saints game last week.
Correct. Yes. So, it's bad press. No matter how you look at it, that's not how the NFL. The no catch rule. I mean, it's basically what we're seeing again.
And John Perry threw more roughing the quarterback flags than any other lead official.
Oh, don't tell me that. I don't like holding a Rams 3 ticket. I'm holding it even.
And I think he had his crew, and not that this is his crew, but he is the lead official, and his crews had more flags than any crew as a crew in the NFL throughout the regular season. So these I think are, people are going to say these are low numbers. They must be trying to get you to play over. I'm going to go on, that contrary thinking, that contrary philosophy. It just makes sense in my mind that there's going to be several holding calls. The Patriots are going to run the football. And I think you're going to see them protecting the quarterback and holding by defense and pass interference. And 4.5 is a low number.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, Sonny Michel, 7.5 more rushing yards than Todd Gurley. Yeah. I've said it all season, well, not all season, but at least the last 6 weeks, hey, what's going on with Todd Gurley? We know they rested him. Okay, he's got fresh legs. They bring in C.J. Anderson anyway. We saw a lot of regression by Todd Gurley, for lack of better words. Mm-hmm. And I feel like his rushing numbers are really low.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, whoa, that's something to be concerned about. But that's not too bad because we know they have C.J. Anderson. But you think Sonny Michel is going to just be out there like he was the last 2 games running the ball?
I do.
Okay.
And you can throw Burkhead in the mix, but Sonny is going to get the ball. He got it 29 times against the Chiefs. Still, and he only averaged 3.9 yards a carry. But that's, again, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. This is what Belichick wants to do. He doesn't want to have his defense on the field against Goff, and they're capable. And Gurley splits out much more than most running backs do in that McVay scheme. And I expect him to have as many, at least, targets as I do rushes. And that might be an aberration and an exaggeration. But fact is, he carried the ball 4 times for 10 yards. Against the Saints.
You're right. The whole second half I was going, where's Gurley? Where's Gurley? And then he finally gets that one breakout.
And C.J. carried the ball 16 times. Now, there's still some belief that Gurley had his knee issue, that he was still suffering a little bit. But they had 2 weeks off before that game.
And then now they have 2 weeks off now.
He's ready.
Okay.
But fact is that I trust Goff is going to throw the ball more than Belichick.
Well, you just talked about being contrarian. I feel like a lot of people are going to look at this and say, there's no way that Gurley's not going to have more rushing yards. Right. So I agree with you on this one, even though I'm on the other side for the game. WagerTalk Text Club, guys, it's 100% free. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to get a $10 coupon for signing up, plus free picks and other special offers.